Open your grammar book. Look at how thick it is. Hundreds of pages, rules inside rules. And here is the secret almost no one tells you. You do not need most of it. You have been told a lie about grammar. The lie is simple. It says you must learn every rule before you are allowed to speak. So you study, and you still feel stuck. You read about something called the past perfect continuous. Your head starts to hurt, and a quiet voice asks if English is just too hard for you. It is not. The problem is not you. The problem is the order someone handed you. Let me reframe that word for a second. To reframe means to look at the same thing in a new way. So let us reframe grammar. Grammar is not one giant wall you must climb all at once. Grammar is a small set of tools you use every single day, plus a large pile of tools you will almost never touch. Did you know that even native speakers ignore most of the rare rules they do? They simply use the common tools again and again, until the words feel natural in the mouth. So which tools do you actually need? Think about one normal day in your life. You talk about now. You talk about the past. You talk about your plans for later. You ask questions. You join two ideas with small words like because, but, and so. That is most of real communication, right there. If you can do those few things clearly, people understand you, and being understood is the whole point. There is real science behind this idea. A famous language researcher named Krashen made an important distinction. A distinction just means a difference between two things. He separated learning grammar from acquiring grammar. Learning means studying rules on a page. Acquiring means absorbing the language slowly, almost without noticing, by understanding messages you hear and read. Krashen argued that you build true, natural grammar far more from understanding English than from memorizing rule books. In plain words, you grow grammar by using the language, not only by studying it. Does that mean rules are useless? No. Think of a rule as a map. A map is helpful when you are lost. But a map is not the journey, and staring at the map forever will never move your feet. You look at the rule, you understand it, and then you go and use it in a real sentence. That is when it becomes yours. Now picture a real moment. You are sitting in the IELTS speaking test. The examiner smiles and asks a simple question. Tell me about your hometown. In that moment, you do not need rare, fancy grammar. You need clear present tense to say what your town is like today. You need clear past tense to say how it has changed. You need small connecting words to link your ideas. Do that cleanly, and you sound calm and capable. That is the grammar that pays you back. Even the experts agree about focus. Swan wrote a well-known reference book called Practical English Usage. The book is thick, yes, but look closely at what it chooses to explain. It focuses on the points that actually cause problems for learners, not every rule that exists in theory. When even a giant grammar guide sorts the language by what matters most, that should tell you something. Your job is not to know everything. Your job is to master the parts that carry the weight. And here is something the IELTS exam itself quietly confirms. One of the official scoring areas is called Grammatical Range and Accuracy. Notice the two words. Range means variety, how many structures you can use. Accuracy means correctness, how often you get them right. Both matter, but this is the part most learners miss completely. So here comes the twist, and it may surprise you. Trying to use advanced grammar too early can actually lower your score. Why? Because when you reach for a structure you do not control yet, you make more mistakes. And mistakes hurt your accuracy. A simple sentence that is correct can score higher than a complicated sentence full of errors. Let that sink in for a moment. The student who writes clean, simple, correct English often beats the student who writes fancy, broken English. Simple and correct is not a weakness. It is a strategy. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Imagine two students answering the same question about their last holiday. The first one tries to be impressive. He says, had I been knowing the weather, I would have been going to the beach. It sounds advanced, but it is tangled and wrong, and the examiner hears the errors first. The second student keeps it simple. She says, I went to the beach last summer. The weather was perfect, so I stayed all day. Clean, clear, correct. Now ask yourself, which one sounds more in control of English? The simple answer wins, almost every time. You do not earn points for trying hard structures. You earn points for being understood. This is freeing once you accept it. It means you can stop fearing the parts of grammar you have not learned yet. Those rare rules are not waiting to fail you. They are simply not your job today. Your job today is small, clear, and completely doable. And small, clear, and doable is exactly how confidence is built. So what should you actually do? Stop trying to swallow the whole grammar book in one bite. Instead, pick the few structures you use every day and make them strong. Get comfortable with the present simple for everyday facts and habits. Get comfortable with the past simple for finished actions. Learn to talk about the future with going to and will. Master the small words that connect ideas like because, but so, and although. Get your articles under control, those tiny words and the, because learners lose easy points there. Master these, and you have covered most of what real English needs. Then build accuracy through use, not fear. Read short, easy English every day, and notice how these structures appear naturally. Listen to clear English and let the patterns sink in, exactly as Krashen described. Write a few simple sentences about your own day and check them slowly. You are not memorizing a wall of rules anymore. You are training a small set of tools until they feel automatic. Let me bring this back to you tonight. The next time you open that heavy grammar book and feel that wave of stress, stop. Do not start on page 1. Choose one structure you already use when you speak, and just make it cleaner and more correct. Tomorrow, choose another. Step by step, the few tools that matter become strong, while the rare rules can wait quietly until you truly need them. So close your grammar book for a second and breathe. You do not need most of it. Not now, maybe not ever. You need a few good tools, used clearly and used often. That is the grammar you actually need. And it has been within your reach this whole time.